Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Spring Snowflake podcast. I'm gonna have to get used to saying that. Today's episode is going to be called Single Figures! And I'll explain why in a bit. So today I am going to talk about my finished objects, my works in progress, incoming things, and it was my birthday 2 days ago, so there's a few bits, and a bit of chatter at the end about things. So as usual, my show notes will be on my blog and the link will be down below, and you can find me on Instagram, not Ravelry as I said last time, as Sophie Swan, Sophie Xuan, which is my middle name, and it's pronounced Swan. The amount of times people get that wrong. Are you Sophie Swan? No. Swan. Like the white bird. Pretty easy. Anyway, I digress. You can also find me on Instagram at a spring snowflake, which is my business name. Not that I do much at the moment, it's mostly Christmas craft fairs, but we'll be building the empire, which I'll talk to you about later. I'm on Ravelry as Sophie Swan, Sophie Xuan, and that's pretty much everywhere that I am on the internet. I am on Facebook. I rarely go on Facebook anymore. Instagram's my favourite. Have they changed the algorithm on Instagram again? Because I feel like I'm seeing people that I like again now. I'm a bit confused. Anyway, thank you for those who've come back and have watched me before. Thank you as well to those who are watching me for the first time. I hope you like what you see. So, I'm getting straight into it because there's quite a lot of stuff on my desk. I'm sitting in I've moved my craft room around a little bit. My Kallax units were on that wall. And this bookcase, and well, Maud was always there, but this bookcase was over there, and that bookcase was 90 degrees, and my chair was against that wall. I'm experimenting. I moved it around last night. I'm not sure if I like it, but I am in the smallest room of the house. And I'm very lucky that I have a craft room, so I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I have a craft room, and it's awesome. But I am in the smallest room in the house, so being able to find homes for all of the stuff that I have, not crap like my husband says, the stuff that I have is hard when you've got the box room. Anyway, I have my window open today because it is beautifully sunny outside. It has been all week and I've had the week off. It is Friday the 18th of May today. And it's been really nice all week, apart from Wednesday, which was my birthday, and it rained. Always rains on my birthday. Anyway, finished objects. I'm going to start with the things that you know about. So, and these were long-term whips, and I'm very happy they're done. So, I'll pop a photo of this in situ, but I finished my bunny bunting! Well, it's not mine, it's my little girl's. So yeah, we have bunnies on bunting. This, I'll insert a picture of it on her bedroom wall. The bunting that's behind me above my door actually was on her bedroom wall, and I've wanted that because that's my little box of crochet, Little Bee, New Zealand, Alia. That was their collab ages and ages ago. And I've wanted that across my door with my fairy lights. And now I can, because she's got her own bunting. So this is paint box, well the bunnies are paint box Simply DK, I think it's what it's called, in kind of pastel colours. So we've got the green, the purple, the orange, the yellow, the blue and the pink. Now I ran out of the purple and the pink, so the borders are not quite the same colour. I don't know if you'll be able to see that as the rabbits, but I used the Shelley from Spin Cushions, her bunting pattern, which is basically just moss stitch. 7 rounds, with the 7th round being the contrast colour, and then I literally just chained in between, there's 6 chains in between, and double crocheted across the top, and then more chains. So the starting chain is 30 chains, then there's 6 in between, and then there's 30 chains at the end as well. So Yay! I can't remember what the pattern for the bunny is, but I will link to my Ravelry project page on my show notes, and that's all there. But mostly this is Paintbox Simply DK. I got a whole bag of the minis ages ago. I think I did. I did win it. And then the white is just some random white acrylic DK that I had in my stash. I basically killed the acrylic to block it, so it feels a little bit shiny, but it's going to go on a wall, it's fine. Right, next, the thing that basically was done but I hadn't actually finished it by putting the ears on. The lamb hat is done! Can you tell I've just been on a bit of a finishing off spree? So this is probably going to go in my box of stuff to sell at craft fairs, and if I don't sell it at a craft fair, I'll put it on at my Etsy shop, which has been set up, I just haven't actually put anything in it. So yeah, lamb hat is finished. I think that is a repeat craft of me pattern, but again, I'll link to my project page on Ravelry that you can see all that information. It's a 6 to 12 month hat, that one. Another thing that was a long term, so you've only seen this in bits, and let's see if I can do this without doing glare. This is the Love motorbike. So, oh, here we go. That way. So, this pattern is not on Ravelry, it was on someone's blog for free, and it's so intricate. I'm amazed it's a free pattern because she just puts so much detail into it, so many pictures. And this I have made for my lovely friend Richard and his wife Pinar. They got married last July. This is how long I've been making this. Or rather, I made all the pieces and I took them down to Kent with me for his wedding, and then I ran out of time and didn't put it together, so it's been sat in a box until now. And I know I'm seeing him tomorrow because I'm going into London for a friend's birthday, and him and Pina are going to be there. Nothing like a deadline, an impending deadline for me to actually pull my finger out and finish something. Anyway, so the pattern is, the link to the website, the blog post to make this motorbike is on my Ravelry projects page, and then I can't remember where I did. I think this is a Happy Berry crochet pattern for the hearts. So I just did a couple of hearts coming out of the bike seat. And then this is a IKEA box frame, and I've completely blanked on what it's called. Ribber! Ha! It's on the back. So this is the Ribber box frame. I've got a couple of these. I didn't actually feature this in my last podcast, but I did a star doily in thread crochet for Marie, Simply Sew by Mimi on Instagram, as part of my Florissant hug, and I'll pop a photo somewhere of it, and it worked really well in these box frames. So I've bought a couple more to do just gifts and things like that, and actually I want to do a star doily for me as well, although I might make that one out of thread, or then mount it onto an embroidery hoop, because I kind of want an embroidery hoop gallery wall going up my stairs. We'll see if my husband agrees to that, but that's my aim. Anyway, so that's another finished object, and that will be delivered to the recipients tomorrow. Very happy about having got that done. So those were the 3 long-term projects that I had shown you in episode 1 with all the whips. And with those 3 being done, I am now in single figures. Yay! Hence the reason why the podcast is going to be called Single Figures. So I only have 9 whips now on my Ravelry project page, which I'm very happy about. A couple that are still long term, so you've still got my Picking Flower sweater on there. I'm looking at my phone right now. You've still got my Sophie's Universe, which once I've finished one of my whips, that's the next one to be worked on. I've still got my octagons, I've still got, there's still some long-term stuff on there, but I'm a lot happier that a lot of the smaller bits are done. So that's good. The last finished object I have is something that wasn't actually started the last time I podcast. I had said I wanted to make it. I had said what I was going to make it with, I think. Yes. And this thing, I started it on May the 3rd and I finished it on May the 12th. Which, when you see the size of it, you'll go, bloody hell, you didn't put that down, did you? I loved this pattern, and it's the crisscross shawl by Faye, who is Faye DH Designs or Crochet Circle Podcast. Or the one thing that's slightly annoyed me about it is that I still have a slight mountain peak at the top of it, despite having blocked it. Once it's on, it doesn't matter too much, does it? So this is a half circle? Oval? Moon? Yeah, moon shape. Let's call it moon shape shawl. It is the DK version, so her original pattern is, I'm going to put it like this because then you can see all the different colours. Yeah, it's a it's a 4-ply originally pattern, but then Faye herself actually did there's hair all over it. She did a DK version of it to see what it would come out like, and I went, well, actually I won this yarn, which is Vicky Brown. It's her fizzy colourway in DK, and I went, well, I want to make something with that, but actually 100 grams of DK doesn't really go very far. 100 grams of 4-ply you can make a shawl, but 100 grams of DK not really. Probably a shawlette, but not. So I stash dived, and so I had 4-ply. These are the 2 4-ply yarns held together, which are again Vicky Brown, Violet Speckles and then the fizzy colourway. Then I have Artisano Alpaca DK in Anemone, then another Vicky Brown 4-ply doubled up in, it's called Blue Monday, which was one from my fibre share partner, then another Artisano Alpaca DK in Colombia, and then the last one is another thing from my fibre share, which is Araucania, and it's a light worsted this rather than a DK, and this is 100% Chilean wool. So this was very much a mountain peak when I had finished it, and I was really worried it wasn't going to block out, and it hasn't blocked out completely. I probably could be a bit more aggressive with it, but to be honest, this gave out so much blue dye at the end of it that I didn't want to keep it in the bath for very much longer, just in case it dyed everything else. Blue's one of those things that doesn't set as well, which I found out, which I'll tell you about in a later bit, but so quite a lot of blue came off it as I was soaking it in its wool wash. So I was a bit worried about leaving it in. So it probably could have been in there for a bit longer, which might have helped it block out this bit. But I don't mind, because actually once it's on, it's huge. This thing. I'll pop a photo of it on the blocking boards, because even then I couldn't get it in. I had to stand on a sofa to get a photo. Anyway, once it's on, you can basically look. I'm really warm. So this is definitely a winter scarf, winter shawl, but it's a proper shawl as well. Like, oh, put it actually properly like a shawl. Look at that. It's like almost down to the floor, and I just love the effect of all the different colours. It just looks awesome. Actually, it looks more awesome in the viewfinder. Anyway, so yeah, that is the crisscross shawl. I will definitely be making a 4-ply version of it. I have no idea when, because I have other shawls to make. But it's a very, very well written pattern. It's very clear, and it's one of those patterns that it's quite repetitive, because it's just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of the same stitch, and then you've got the motif. And I basically found that I was like, oh, just another row, and then I'll be this much closer to the next motif, the next crisscross. So that's how I felt about it. So I loved this pattern. I really enjoyed making it. It has got an end to sew in, but that's it. But anyway, so it is finished. Just has one end. So that is my other finished crochet object. I have some other finished objects which I've been really happy about, and I've been making today. So I have had the week off. I think I might have mentioned that, because it's my birthday week, and I've done lots of fun things. I've also had a sick child, which hasn't really helped. So she's been sent home from nursery Monday and Tuesday, and yesterday Wednesday is my normal day off, so she wasn't going to be in there anyway. Yesterday we went to Reading to go to the cinema. We went to see Avengers Infinity War, and I swear to you, I have never been so stressed in my life watching a film. That's all I'm saying, no spoilers. Oh my god, I fidgeted a lot because I was stressed. Anyway, so we went to Reading and we were totally expecting, I kept my phone on, not on silent, but I kept it on vibrate on my lap just in case we got the phone call from nursery, and she managed the whole day, and she's been in nursery all day today as well. It's 4:20 at the moment, and she's made it, so that means that her temperature's fine, she's getting over her cold. We're past the worst, although she did decide to sleep with me all night last night, which was, I'm tired. Anyway, we digress. I've had the week off this week. I was determined that I was going to take part in the Dodgy Bag Make-Along, which is being hosted by Ali, Astaria's Ali, or the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, and Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast. Yeah. So Ali makes a lot of what she calls dodgy bags. Her dodgy bags are way less dodgy than mine. So I was like, I'm going to make some dodgy bags, and I'm going to make friends with my sewing machine again. And I have. Today, I haven't done as many as I thought I would because I kept getting distracted by doing like laundry and stuff. But I have made 3 little bags. One I don't think is quite so successful, which I'll show you first. But I had given to Brownies actually, and then we decided actually we didn't need them, so I thought I'd bring them home. Great big stacks of samples of upholstery material and curtain material and all sorts of stuff, and they are perfect for tiny little bags. So I thought I'd try a couple of designs I saw on Pinterest for project bags. First one I tried was a bento bag, which is basically 3 squares sewed together, boxed off at the bottom, and then you tie them off at the top. And apparently, I think it's the Japanese, use this to carry their lunch in. This is okay. I don't think the fabric I used is sensible, and I think it needs to be bigger because you can't tie a double knot with this. So yes, but a bit of a fail. But it's fine. Dodgy bags is all about trying. And then I have been catching up on the Skein Dear Knits podcast. I've never come across Ellie before until I watched the Stranded podcast, who then sent me to Skein Dear Knits. And Ellie at Skein Dear Knits has been making project bags as well. So I followed the pattern that she has followed for drawstring bags. So again, this is that upholstery fabric. So they're only small squares. This is the first one I made. I've used ribbon from my... Oh my god, I've got so many ribbons. And that's not all of them because I've got a bag full here of ones to use in project bags. Anyway, so I made this one first. I'll put the link for the blog post which has got the tutorial down below. But I really like it. It's very well written. It shows you how to do the boxing, and actually I'm quite happy with how I've matched my seams there. Not quite so much on that side, but actually I'm quite happy. And it's fully lined, and it's holding my Laverna socks, which have had to be frogged back. So that's that one. And then the second one I made today is the same size fabric, but I boxed it off slightly less at the bottom. So that one was a 3-inch wide diagonal. This is a 2.5-inch wide diagonal. Look at that. So happy with that seam matching. Have I done it on the other side? But the one thing I really love about this is the fact the boxing has actually meant that this kind of sunflower pattern, the bottom of the sunflower pattern is out on the edge of the bag, and that was so lucky. But yeah, this is all just fruit. It's all frugal. I quite like this with the little kind of it's quite interesting on the screen. But this is all curtain fabric basically. That has got another long-term project in it, which is my doorstop. But I really like it, so I'm going to be making more of these in bigger sizes, I think. And then it's not a finished object, but I'll show you the one that has been cut out and is waiting for me to make it. which I'm making out of some fabric that was in my, is that the right one? Yep. Some fabric that was in my grandmother's stash that I was given. And it'll be lined with just plain blue. I'm going to interface this because it's quite thin cotton. And this is going to be, if I open it up, a travel yarn bag. So when you make it, I'll box off the bottom, but this is a kind of arm. So you put your arm through, and it means you can stand like that and have your crochet or knitting in there, and you can be standing, and it's on the go yarn bag. So yeah, that's the next one I'll either make today or Sunday, I think, depending. The one thing I did completely forgot to do in those bags, and which I will do in this bag, is put my little fabric tag, which I put on most things that I sell, but actually I think I quite like to put it on my bags as well. This one will have a pocket. Is that upside down? Yes. This one will have a pocket in it as well to put all your notions. So I'll probably put the thing on there. So yeah, I've had a really good time sewing today, so definitely something I will be doing again. They're still dodgy because I'm getting used to my sewing machine again, but it's been really nice having it out and just making something quickly. I love crocheting and knitting, but it's not a quick craft, whereas sewing is a quick craft, particularly if you're making things like project bags and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on to works in progress. So I will do the things behind me first. So let's do all the baskets. So in my Flodman Mason basket is, and I've shown you these before, are my America octagons with my Yarndale. This is my Crafternoon Trees Yarndale sheep. These octagons have sat. We went for a month to America in 2014. So these octagons are almost 4 years old. And basically that's what I did, is I bought yarn with me, and I also bought yarn out there and just made octagons on car journeys, on flights, on all sorts of stuff. And I've got a lot of octagons in this basket. It's full to the brim. And I was starting to join them with little black granny squares. So I was joining them in black and putting little black granny squares in between, but it wasn't an easy join. It's not a shape that you can do join as you go with. At least I couldn't do it. So I got really frustrated and I went, no, there must be a simpler way of doing this. I wonder if I can square them off. So I've been experimenting with how to square off the octagon in one round, because I don't want that much black. Like, this is the amount of black I want on the edges. So yeah, it's a work in progress. I have picked it up again, but more to experiment with how to square off the octagon. And I can't find any people that have done it on the internet, on the Blogosphere, on Ravelry. Google can't seem to find anyone. So if I do it and it looks good, I will write a blog post about it, because the octagon's not mine, the octagon's someone else's pattern, so all I'd be doing is writing a pattern for how to join them. But yeah, I can't find anyone who's got it, so if I can be helpful. So that I have picked up again, and I'm now going to put it back in the cupboard. Right, the other thing back here in the giant basket, and let's try not to undo wherever I am, is, oh, I did. That's annoying. Talk amongst yourselves. This is why I need to put Progress Keeper in my makes. Oh, right. So I'm going to do that now. It'll stop unravelling. I love these things, by the way. These are little spice jars from IKEA, and you get a set of 4 or 5 from IKEA for like £1. And I keep all my stitch markers in there. Stitch markers, and I've realised now, started knitting, that actually stitch markers are not stitch markers. Stitch markers are the circular ones that go on knitting needles. Progress keepers are the ones that are all the pretty ones on thingy clips. Right. I'm just going to put that on there and then it won't undo. Okay, so I took part in the last global hookup, and during that last global hookup I finished the join! So the Ross blanket is joined. And I can see how blooming big it is. So I am on the border right now. So I'm one side, yeah, I'm on one side of 4 on round 3, and there's 6 rounds on the border. So it's 5 rounds of brown, mocha, not brown, because that's brown. And then 1 round of not denim, the other blue, this blue. So yes, I'm only 4 months behind my target. It's alright, my dad hasn't bought me a present yet, so eye for an eye and all that. Right, so that is, I'm fully expecting that to be a finished object and for me not to be able to show it to you at the next podcast because it will be with my dad by that point. That's the plan. Another one, I don't think I started this when we last spoke, is a knitting project. So I am using Knit Pro Symphony, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but they were cheap and I bought the starter set. But Knit Pro Symphony circular interchangeable hooks in a, oh look at that, it's already rubbed off. Is it 4mm? Good lord. Let's have a look, shall we? I think it's 3mm actually. Yeah, 3mm. And I'm making the Linus shawl, which is a free pattern. And I came across this because of Catherine from Crafternoon Treats. And it is a very simple garter stitch with increases on this side and decreases on this side. So you do an increase and a decrease and then a increase on the return row. So there's 2 increases and 1 decrease on each return pass, as it were. And I'm loving the mindlessness of it. It's just, I went into London on Tuesday for a day out with my mum, and I sat on the train and then I sat on the tube watching Lucifer. I only realised that they had new episodes of Lucifer out because they've just cancelled it, and there's a campaign that's happening on social to resurrect Lucifer because apparently the season was left on a cliffhanger. No spoilers. So I'm rewatching it, season 3, the end of season 3, because I didn't realise that they'd brought them out on Amazon. Yes, Amazon. And they came back in April, so that's what I've been doing quite a lot this week, is I've been watching Lucifer. So I downloaded the episodes, watched it on my iPad on the train, had it on the tube. This is the Boo Polly Boo Yarns Sweet Club box, and I won it, this yarn, and I got 2 skeins of it. One has went into a cardigan for my daughter, which I'll pop a photo, oh my god, can't speak today, and this one is, and I really like it. The colour pooling is just mad, but I'm really happy with the results. So it will end up being like that. That's the top, so the eyelets are the top. I did actually experiment by putting an eyelet row in, and I quite like that, so I'll try and put a random eyelet row in every 40 rows or whatever. It's slow going, but I don't mind that. I'm not actually getting that bored with it, which is weird because, like, repetitive crochet really annoys me. But this is lovely. Maybe because I'm learning, I don't know. But I'm really enjoying that. So that's the Linus shawl. And then the last thing, I'm showing this every time because I do keep adding to it, is, oh, excuse me, dropped on the floor, is my yarn advent hexagons, which I think I've decided I'm not going to make into a blanket, because actually if I make it into a blanket, I'll have to make loads of filler hexagons. And I love these hexagons. I don't want to make like 500 of them. 50 is enough. So I think I'm going to make them into cushions. Because then I can do 2 cushions have 25 colours. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. Anyway, so I am now up to day 17? Yeah, day 17, which is Tic Tac. So I think I've done New Moon was the last one I showed you. And then I've done Cinnamon Bark. Yeah, I think that's Cinnamon Bark. So 2 of them. Then there's Royal, which I was just showing you. And then on the blocker is Sunset Beach. It's beautiful. Then you've got Oh My Darling. Can you guess what Oh My Darling is? It's Clementine with some green in it. So it is definitely like citrusy. And then you've got Magenta, which is a very bright pink, and I love it. I am not a pink person, but that is so vibrant. So that's that one. Doing Tic Tac. Next one is Indigo Ice, which is this one. That's day 18. I'm going to really enjoy that one because that's all my colours. Then you've got Rainbows. That's going to be so much fun. Worked up. And then I've got to think about what I want to buy to be the joining colour. And I'm thinking Drops Nord in cream, because then it will marry all the colours together. I'm thinking. We'll see. So that, again, it's one of those things that I pick up pretty much. These 2 bags, the liner shawl and the hexagons, come in my bag with me all the time. And whether I'm in a mood for mindless knitting or mindless hexagoning, that's what I'm doing on the go. And it's good because I've got the choice between knitting and crochet, and sometimes I don't want to knit on a really bumpy bus, or I don't want to crochet. Actually, there's not really any point where I don't want to crochet. Anyway, so yeah, so that is living in the cupboard again. Whoop. Good. Those are my works in progress. There are other, obviously, there's long-term stuff, but I haven't really picked them up. So, let's talk about incoming. When we last spoke, I was heading to Wonderwall, Wales, and I had an awesome weekend. My poor husband got food poisoning. I think he actually got ill. He ate something before we left and then got ill that night. Poor kid. So it was nice that we were staying in a nice hotel, and we had some plans for him and the little one while I was at the show. So I wasn't worried too much about them, but I did have to drive home from Wales. But it's fine, I don't mind. So while I was at Wonderwall, I met some lovely people, I saw lovely people I already knew, and I bought quite a lot of stuff. So, my first place that I went to was Faye at Knit It Hook It, because I wanted one of her project bags. Oh, that's looking far pinker on the screen than actually it is. That tweed is a bit bluer in real life, I would say. I wanted one of her project bags, and I actually wanted the navy blue one. And I saw this one and went, what's wrong with me? I'm not a pink person, but I want it. So I bought, instead of buying the small blue one, I bought the medium pink one. And I love it. And I got, bless Faye, she threw in and even though I've already bought the pattern online, she threw in the paper copy of Loft as well. So this is ready for me to start Loft. Something's stopping me. I think it might be because I want to know if there's going to be a Loft along. Because if there's going to be a Loft along, I want to be joined into the Loft along. So I bought that. At her stand, I also bought Popcorn and Crocodiles, and I'm really sorry, I've completely forgotten her name, her actual real name. The Adventures in Yarn book. This is awesome. Number one, it's got a giant coil. Because you're going to be putting loads of like yarn notes and yarn bits in here, and there's plastic wallets which I've already started using for yarn tags. As a paper planner person, I am very much appreciative of big coils for things like this. If you're using a notebook to keep notes, keep information, put things in it, I'm going to be using washi tape in this quite a lot. This, having that giant coil is a really good thing. The giant coil is basically just the external awesomeness, but this is a fab. I love it. I've been using it. I'm I have already put some project notes, so crisscross is in here, the liner shawl's in here, in different coloured sections because knitting and crochet, they're different. What else is in here? Treasure Island shawl when I started, the bunny bunting, because I wanted to put the chart for it, which I understand. Anyone else who's reading that would not and would never understand. Yeah. Just little notes pertaining to the projects that I'm doing. So with the crisscross, I frogged the first bit because I had a different colour to start with and it just didn't look right, so I frogged it all the way back. The liner shawl, where's my notes for the liner shawl? I just wrote down the pattern because it's a 2-row repeat. Oh, and I have written down the needle size, so I could have just looked in here, couldn't I, rather than... Yeah, I really like it. Go and buy one. And it's all made in the UK. Scotland, specifically. So, those are what I bought from Faye. Oh, sorry. Totally just shook the camera. I then went, because I can't not go and see Becky, I went to see Becky at River Knits, mainly to get her advice about what to put with the mohair. This is what I was talking about last time. So I took that skein with me and she went, oh yeah, you brought it. Why don't you put it with this? And again, it's pink. Oh, but it's so lovely. This is her Splendiferous Floor Ply, which is 70% BFL, Superwash BFL, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. And it's going to be a jumper. I will put a photo of the jumper and I cannot for the life of me remember what it's going to be. I am not going to start it though until my Picking Flowers sweater is finished. So my plan is, I think Faye's Summer Tops Cal starts on the 1st of June. And I'm going to be finishing my Picking Flowers sweater during that. And if I do have time, I will start this. But this is going to be, it's a jumper where it has a lace yoke and it's knitted, which will be just this. And then you add the mohair silk into the main body of the sweater. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using that. But I bought 3 skeins of that Splendiferous 4-ply from Becky, which basically was about a third of what I spent at Wonderwall. It's expensive yarn, but it's cashmere silk, so it's not going bad. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. I then went to John Arbon because I wanted to get yarn for the Metcha shawl, which I talked about before. So I bought Knit by Numbers for DK, Knit by Numbers DK, which is 100% Falklands Merino. And then the Metcha shawl, if I'll post a picture, has a gradient yarn end, and the gradients are actually by Gamer Crafting, the official ones, and it's 5 colours, which is 20 grams each, but I bought 4 25-gram minis. So it'll be a lot more subtle, I think, and I'll have to work out the numbers, the row numbers, to make sure that my 25-gram skeins go into the rows counting for the 20-gram skeins for the actual official thing. And I love the little bag that they give you. Isn't it nice? Anyway, what else did I buy? Oh, I also went to... I found these people because I didn't realise these people existed. This is the Romney Marsh Wools Company. Now, I'm from Kent, so Romney Marsh is very close to my hometown. So I bought their woolly wash and I bought their hand and body lotion. And their woolly wash I haven't tried yet, but smells lovely. And their hand and body lotion is very pleasant. But they were lovely. They were selling wool as well, but by that point I'd basically run out of money. So I went and bought those. I then stopped at Chester Wool, who sell undyed skeins of yarn. All sorts of different types. And I've bought from them before because I bought my undyed yarn for my Picking Flowers sweater, which is part yak, part alpaca, part other stuff. They had a massive table of mystery yarn, and basically you could buy 5 skeins for a tenner. So I bought 5 skeins. I'm going to show you 3 of them because the other 2 are slightly different. So I think this is wool, and then these, I think they feel like bamboo to me. So I'm going to try dyeing them up. I have actually dyed the other ones up, so these ones are mad. Look at that yarn. That's insane. So this was white before I got my grubby hands on it. But I can't wait to try this with something. I'll have to hold it with something because it's just going to be a bit... Look at the look. That's insane yarn. Anyway, couldn't resist. They had loads of it and everyone was avoiding it. But I was like, no, I want to try that. So that brings me on to what I did with my yarn. I had a Devon Sun Yarns kit that I bought at Yarndale for a dye at home, and it came with a skein of undyed merino sock yarn, so 75-25, usual thing. And the 3 primary colours, pipettes, paintbrush, and some very good instructions. So I decided to have a go on Monday before the child decided that she needed to come home because she had a temperature. So this is what I got. So I basically did just primary yellow and primary red down one end. Show you it unwound. There we go. Just splodges. I left quite a lot of it undyed, and then this end was the blue, but I didn't rub it all the way down. And then I added some red to some blue to make it a bit darker, and then added some splodges of red and green. It's a bit of a hodgepodge, but what I love is how it looks when it is reskeined. Like that. How cool is that? So those will go into my first pair of socks, which I'm hoping I will cast on. First pair of knitted socks, which I'm hoping I'll cast on soon because I have bought myself some sock needles. No, I want to finish my liner shawl first. I'm going to finish my liner shawl and then I'll cast on. That was my Wonderwall haul. Then there was my birthday. So my birthday was on Wednesday. I had some lovely things. It wasn't quite the birthday that we imagined because the small person was really ill, so we didn't do what we were going to do, but we still went and had some fun. The highlights. Cake. I'm going to put a whole screen picture of the cake that my husband surprised me with. And there's a hashtag on Instagram that is yarn cakes are the best cakes. And this actually is a yarn cake. It tastes amazing as well. I'll post a picture of what it was inside. It's a marble cake, which I love. I love marble cake. Chocolate, vanilla, what's not to love. So yes, he did really well, and he got my friend Jess to do it, who is a baker by night. She's a project manager, I think, by day, but she had a before child came along, she also had a part-time cakes business, decorating cakes and making cakes for weddings and things like that. So she's kind of put that to one side now, but she does cakes for friends and it's awesome. She's so clever. Anyway, I also got some amazing flowers from my little sister who's up in Edinburgh. She's lovely. She turns 20 on Monday. I have a 20-year-old sister. And I know that's ridiculous because I'm in my 30s, but still, I remember when she was born. I had a lovely day, as I said, with my mum in London, and we went to Liberty, and we went to Loop. Not for very long though, because I got an SOS from home because my small person wasn't feeling very well. And then we also went to Sew Over It, which is in Islington, just up the road from Loop. So at Liberty, my mummy spoiled me. She bought me a Scamp and Dude sweatshirt. I'm going to post a picture because it's on the line drying, because I wore it straight away. But this is the card, and their trademark basically is a superhero has my back. And what I love is they also have this, which is, oh, is it going to focus? It's called the superpower button, and on the back of it, it gives you options of which superpowers you should have. I love it. Oh, is that going to show you? There we go. And in the back band, basically the neck band, inside it says, it just has a little running slogan of a superhero has my back. And the children's versions, it's printed on the back of the t-shirts. And it basically is, I would never give justice to her story, but the lady who runs it and designs it had a very big medical thing that happened to her. She was in hospital and she came out going, what if my children didn't have a mum? And she came up with this concept of having superheroes that look after children who are bereaved or are really ill. And she's fierce about her brand. One of the reasons why she's been so much in the spotlight recently is because Asda stole the trademark, and she fought them and they took it down, this piece of clothing. And it's partly because she's got such a following, but also because she's fierce about her brand. And I'm in such admiration for people like that, and I wanted one of these. This is it's the navy leopard print sweatshirt, and I love it, and I'm so glad I have it, because it was in Liberty, and it was kind of like a crime of opportunity. And we went into the children's bit because I was like looking for things for Amelia, and I saw it in the corner and went, Mum. Yes. So yeah, my mummy bought me it. We also, at So Over It, because I'm making bags, bought some fat quarters, and this one I had to get. You'll see why in a minute. It's sheep. Some with knitting needles. Love it. So yes, I had to buy that. So that's going to go on the outside of the project bag, and then this is the coordinating interior. And then I saw this, which is dandelions and dandelion heads, which I love. Amelia is totally into blowing dandelion heads at the moment, so yeah, had to buy that. And then this, and I don't know if I'll be able to get this in focus. Little birdies, little just grayscale birdies, and that'll be the lining. So yes, that is my London trip birthday haul. I have to show you some of the cards that I got. My mum is awesome. Belle is my favourite. I have a very close second, a new very close second now. My mother-in-law. I love her. What else? Oh, that was my father-in-law. That's just a... Oh, glare. It's just a very sweet card. And then work. Love it. So, we've got some very nice cards. What else? You want to know what I got that was yarn related though, don't you? And I got, from my very, very generous father-in-law and stepmother-in-law, some higher circulars. I also got higher sharps. I only got one, but I've got two in there now because the other one I bought from a D-stash. So I've got 2.5 and a 2.75, I think, or 2.25. God. Yeah, 2.75 and 2.5 short circulars, which I'm going to try out for sock knitting. And then I got the large higher circulars set from, so it goes from 5.5 to 10 millimetre. They're quite short. I didn't think they'd be this short, but... And then my grandmother has basically said she's going to give me some money towards something. So I am asking her for the Chow Goo Twist small set, so the smaller sizes. I got, just to test them out, from, now, Pearl Essence. If anyone hasn't heard of Pearl Essence, they're at quite a lot of yarn shows. They're relatively local to me. They're in Newbury, in Berkshire, so they're about half an hour away from me. I ordered these yesterday at about 11 AM and they were in through my door this morning. I am so impressed. So yeah, I got a long cable and some 3mm because they're not, 3mm are not in the normal set, just to try them out and to see what they look like. But I didn't like, because obviously I've been using the Knit Pro Symphony circulars, and that cable is not, it has a memory, that one. This one has no memory, look at that! It's amazing. All the people say Chow Goos are really good. Yeah, Chow Goos are really good, just for that. Yeah, so that was a little birthday present to myself, more than anything else. And I think that's everything that I had for birthday or bought myself. Last thing I'm going to tell you about. Things I'm currently loving. So I mentioned Belle being my favourite Disney princess. My second favourite Disney princess was Jasmine, because she's hardcore. But I have a new second favourite. Belle will never be replaced in my thoughts. I love Belle. But we watched Moana for the first time this week, and my little girl, now granted my little girl is 2 years old and 1 month, so she's 25 months old. She doesn't have a very long attention span. She sat through Moana. She stopped me singing because she wanted to watch it. I love that film, it made me cry. We've watched it about 4 times now. So yeah, Moana is now my second favourite Disney princess, even though she's not a princess. No. She's the daughter of a chief. Currently loving Moana. Awesome. I've also just bought some Disney DVDs for my little girl from a friend who was having a bit of a clear out. So yeah, we've got Cinderella, we've got Pinocchio, we've got Beauty and the Beast, and we've got Aladdin, I think. Yeah. So we're going to be doing lots of that. The other thing that I'm currently loving, which those of you who follow me on Instagram will know, I handed my notice in at work. So I'm going to be leaving Oxford and higher education in August to be full-time at home with the small person. It's not a permanent thing. I'll go back to work when she's going to school, but I'm missing too much, so we decided that we could afford it just. And it also means I have time potentially to start thinking about if I want to be a bit more professional about certain bits of my yarn obsession. So I've been given the opportunity and reduced, well, good rates to hire a room for workshops. So I might start offering crochet workshops locally. The cogs are whirring. Not too much, because I actually do want to have a break and just spend some time with Amelia. That's quite a big change for me coming up and in August, because I am not leaving my team in the lurch for the Oxford graduation ceremonies in July. I am going to stay for that. But yeah, so after they're done, I am off, and me and the small person against the world. That's going to be a big change for me, but I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, I have talked way too long, and you can probably hear a lot of building noises because there is a building site pretty much outside my window, but it's too warm to not have the window open. So hopefully it wasn't too distracting, and I will see you next time. Bye! Oh, do I need to close that window? No, I don't want to close that window. Oh, you're high up enough, Sophie. Yes. Stop mucking about with your hair. God, you've got a lot of stuff on your desk. Got everything? Yeah. No, I feel like I'm too low. That's better. I feel like I'm talking to you rather than up at you. Yeah? What do we think of this room setup? I quite like it, but I'm not sure. Is there anything else I need to talk about? So you and Craft Room tour when you're up? No, good.